First thing we're going to do is we've got a template guide. Let's grab this and we're going to drill out our door before we start with the handle. So my handle is going to be at 1.45 meters. First thing is I'm going to mark that mark there, and we're just going to mark the center of this door. It's a 40mm door, so we're doing 20mm. Using a 25mm spade bit, we're just going to start drilling straight into the side of this door. I've got the barrel out of the box, and we just want to make sure we're drilling at least 3/4 of the length of the barrel down. From there, if we fold our template over that line, we'll come in 60mm, making sure that line's in the middle of where we just drilled that first hole. And I can drill that 50mm hole in both sides. You can either line up your template perfectly and drill through there. I'd rather just square across. I prefer just to square across so I can see it. And we're just going to mark that 60mm there. Using a 50mm hole saw, we're just going to start going in from one side. Just so we don't blow it out, we want to go half through on that side and then come through to the other side and start drilling through the other side, and we'll meet it in the middle. So following the template, that's the side of the door. We've drilled that out there for the barrel. We just drilled out that hole there too as well. Next one we want to do is this hole here. That's where the electronics are going to come through from. So we can see that's our 1045 line there. That's the line we're basing everything at. If we come up 38mm from there, I'm going to go through and drill a 15mm hole in that spot. Sweet. Same thing, we'll drill halfway through this side, spin it around, and we'll finish it on the other side. Our last thing to drill is we need another hole in this area. The reason why it's got one determined hole there and you can do one anywhere there is just in case you're doing this over an old lock. If you already have a pre-drilled hole, it's flexible just so you can make this move and match your old door. Since we don't, I'm just gonna go in the middle and I'm just gonna go 75mm up from this line and drill a new 15mm hole there. That's all of the holes drilled. Now we're just gonna get our barrel. We're gonna slide it in there and I'm gonna mark where the barrel goes, holding it so it's parallel and in the middle of the door. We're just gonna pencil mark all the way around it. We're gonna chisel this out now to be the thickness of this so that it sits flush in the door. For the side pencil lines, I'm gonna go down and scribe it with a knife going with the grain. And I'm gonna use a chisel for our horizontal lines at the top and bottom. We're just going to mark them. With the perimeter marked out, we can just get our chisel in there now, starting from where we drilled out. Now we can just slide that barrel in place. I'm just going to pre-drill it for the screws and then we'll screw it off. I accidentally took out a little bit too much at the bottom. Now we can get the handles out and we can get the hardware ready. We're going to start with the external side. It says card there and we've got all the digits there for the outside display. And this is the inside one where you can obviously turn it from locked to unlocked without a key. We spin this one over and we're going to start with putting our barrel in there. We've got two different options. The 60mm one is for 35 to 48mm doors. I'm going to use this because we have a 40mm door and we've got the larger option for larger doors. So you can see we've got a little arrow at the bottom here. We want to make sure that's facing downward. This one doesn't actually give us the arrow. So instead I'm just gonna make sure we've got our holes lining up vertically. Then what we can do is we can insert our shaft, making sure that the holes line up like that. Slide them in until we get a hole the whole way through. Then we got a split pin. We're just gonna open up the split pin and put it through that hole just to lock that in place. That's just gonna hold that in place. So that's ready to go in the door now. I'm just gonna put that to the side. Next thing is we're gonna get our front panel fixing bracket. We've also got these waterproof covers. I'm just gonna attach this waterproof cover onto the back of it. And we're actually gonna put a waterproof cover on this external side of the lock too. Actually, we are gonna jump back to this lock. We've got these two gold barrels and we're gonna screw one on to the screw at the bottom here. And we've got this screw sitting here too, which we're gonna screw onto the other barrel. We'll leave the head sticking out just a little bit and we can slide that in through this T here and that's just gonna hold in place. And this is that adjustable hole we had at the top there, so we can adjust that to any size that we want. We can now bring this over and put this in the door. So we get the wire, that's gonna go through that middle hole. Move that gold shaft up to the top hole. And we'll make sure our shaft goes through the barrel in the middle there. That should just sit there for now. All right, so now we've got the mounting plate. This is gonna go on the inside. We have this assortment of screws, 2 longer ones and 2 smaller ones. So you can imagine the smaller ones are for that 40mm door, for the smaller shaft. So I'll put these longer screws away. So we're gonna thread that wire through. I'm gonna line this slot up here with that bottom hole. I'm gonna put it through that golden shaft and we're gonna screw them together. Then I can get my other screw and we can screw through here into that top hole. And before I screw them off tight, I'm just gonna move it so that this is plumb and parallel with both sides of the door. Then I can screw that tight. With the internal side of the handle, we can actually just pop off the front cover plate and slide that out. You can see this is where you change and put in the batteries. From there, we're gonna connect the power. I'm gonna carefully tuck the cord out of the way. I don't know why they make it as big as they have, it's way too big. I'm gonna tuck it up there, and this should just clip into place. From there, we've got these really small screws, probably can't even see them. It comes with 4, we're only gonna need 3. We've got 3 slots, 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top. And we're gonna screw this in. This is when you add the batteries to it. I've got no batteries today, so I'm just gonna put the cover plate back on. I'm just gonna mark where our door is shutting on the jamb so we can put in our striker plate. That's how you install the handle.